Hello class, this is your instructor Monica Trevathan. Welcome to this Tagup. Here we will preview the last few modules of the course where we will be putting it all together. Many of you are done with all the individual pieces of the proposal and you are about ready to find a potential funding source and then put all the pieces together, which is really your final project. For those of you who are still working on all the individual pieces, keep moving forward and submit your assignments to me as soon as possible so that I can provide you some feedback. Here are the topics we'll cover in this tag up. First, finding a funding source for this class assignment. Then, putting all the pieces together for your final project, which is a proposal ready to submit. And finally, we'll talk about due dates through the end of the semester. First, let's talk about finding a funding source. For this class, you will need to find a funding source where your proposal would be a good candidate for submission. In this module, Module 13, you will identify at least 5 potential funding sources. You will need to find the RFPs or request for proposals from various sources that are applicable to your topic. You can refer back to the topic areas and the key terms you identified earlier in your prospectus. Keep in mind that you must find a proposal that calls for a minimum of 8 pages in the proposal narrative. I know some of you will be submitting your proposal to your school or school district, but if they are not calling for at least 8 pages, then you cannot use that for this class as far as your final project goes. Once you are done with the final project, feel free to then submit to your school as per their requirements. In the discussion section of this module, you can share your funding resources that you discovered. Perhaps you will find something that someone else can also use. In Module 14, you will select the best funding source for your project. Find the RFP and study it carefully, making sure you understand all the requirements and criteria down to the very last detail. You can use any note-taking strategy you would like and annotate the RFP. Make sure to go over each section of the RFP in detail so that you'll know exactly what to include in your proposal. Then, build a template for your proposal submission. Make sure to include headers, subheaders, placeholders for tables and figures. Also, make sure to address things like margins, font sizes, and font styles. Exactly. If you want to make it past the first round of review, your proposal must adhere to these details. Now, for your final project, which will be submitted with Module 15, you will create your proposal. Make sure to follow the template you created in Module 14. In your introduction or your rationale section, you should include your review of literature. Make sure to follow APA style and include your list of references at the end of your narrative. You should have no typos, no misspellings, and no grammar errors. While I did not correct this in the previous modules, it is your responsibility as a proposal submitter to make sure your final proposal is perfectly polished. You can use figures and tables. Actually, they're highly encouraged. These tables and figures will help the reviewers see your narrative more clearly and will also break up the monotony of reading paragraphs. But the tables and figures must be used wisely and must be clear and clean. Finally, if the RFP you selected does not ask for all the elements that you created in the previous modules, I do need you to insert them into your final project. Find the most appropriate spot in the narrative and put them in there. Make sure that all the sections have a logical flow. I want to make sure that all the hard work you've been doing over the past several weeks gets the attention it deserves. I know this seems like a lot right now, but you have already created the bulk of your final project. You just need to put all the pieces together and polish it up. Start by incorporating the feedback I've provided and that which your classmates have provided to you during the discussions. Then determine where an illustration or table would help to enhance the narrative. And then, using your template, drop everything into its proper place. It will be so rewarding when you are done. All right, let's finish this tag up by taking a look at the upcoming due dates. I will grade your submissions in the order I receive them. So if you want feedback to improve your final project, then get your assignments to me as early as possible. Do not wait until the 9th when all the assignments are due. The final project can only be submitted once. While I will provide feedback, there will be no opportunity for you to correct and resubmit since the semester will be over. If you do end up submitting your proposal to a real funding source, I wish you the best of luck. Hopefully this class has provided you a good foundation and you have built a strong proposal. If you get a chance, let me know if your proposal gets funded. Well, I think that's it for this wrap up. So good luck and hopefully the rest of your semester goes very well.